Welcome to GFT, Galactic Figure Talk, a podcast about Star Wars and Star Wars action figure collecting.
Awesome, yeah!
The reason they're 3.75 inches tall is because the first mock-up figures that I made were Fisher-Price Adventure People.
I will freeze your body in carbonite forever, Han Solo! Not so fast!
We finally launched 6-inch when I felt the time was right. We needed a new spark.
We started selling all of the action figures through the fan club, and our most successful was the Cantina Band. That was enormously one of the best-selling items we've ever sold through the fan club.
Whoa! Darth Vader!
I used my nephew as a hand model on the Wampa box. He's the one with the little hand that's in there.
It's Kenner's new Star Wars action figures. Now, welcome your host, Chris B.
Welcome to another episode of GFT Galactic Figure Talk. My name is Chris B. I'm your host, and on this episode I want to talk about the last week of the Gift the Galaxy campaign. So let's do it. Alright, so this morning Hasbro announced that there are 2 additional sets coming to their action figure lines. One was revealed for the Black Series 6-inch line. The other one was revealed for TVC for the 3.75-inch line. And for the Black Series, we get 2 repacks in a troop builder set, which is focused on Attack of the Clones with a Phase 1 clone trooper and a super battle droid. Both of those figures have been made available previously single boxed, but now you can get them both together in a set, and it's a little cheaper than if you were to purchase them individually, because this set is going to cost $39.99, so about $20 for one figure, which, keep in mind, is the exact same price that we paid for Black Series figures in 2013. Right? So this is a really good price. Now, there's nothing new, but if you want to get a few more troops onto your shelves, this is the set to get. Now, for the 3.75-inch line, for the Vintage Collection, they announced a 3-pack titled The Journey of Anakin Skywalker. And it has 1 Anakin Skywalker included based on the Clone Wars look. It has 1 Anakin Skywalker, which actually the packaging is referred to as Darth Vader. Kind of like pre-armor, right? This one is based on his Episode 3 look with the longer hair and the leather outfit. And he also showed up like this in the Ahsoka TV series, and that is exactly what this figure is based on. It's not really the Episode 3 version. This is the Ahsoka version. The figure has the red Sith eyes, comes with the red lightsaber. I think this is a pretty cool looking version of Anakin. And then the third figure that they are going to include in this special action figure 3-pack is a Darth Vader figure from Return of the Jedi. So this one has the translucent helmet, comes with the Force lightning. So this is pretty sharp looking. So overall, a good looking 3-pack and I guess a good looking 2-pack for Black Series as well. The TVC 3-pack, by the way, is going to cost $49.99, and the Black Series one is $39.99, like I mentioned earlier. Now, both of those are HasbroPulse.com exclusives. Pre-orders go live tomorrow, 12/18/2024 at 1 o'clock in the afternoon East Coast time for members only. If you're a non-member, then pre-orders go live 1 hour later at 2 o'clock East Coast time. And then the Disney Store is going to make it available once it ships, which is sometime in 2025, so spring, summer of 2025. And there you have it. That was it for the Gift the Galaxy for the final reveals. Nothing related to Skeleton Crew, which I thought was surprising because, well, we're talking about Skeleton Crew currently because Skeleton Crew so far, at least the first 3 episodes, have been excellent. With the Gift the Galaxy program now closed and no more reveals on Tuesdays, let's take a look back and look at all the action figures that they showed. And I would have to say that for Black Series, it definitely looked better simply because there were more figures revealed. So let's start off with the Black Series, and afterwards let's talk about the 3 3/4 inch line. But for TBS, the Black Series, there were a ton of 2-packs. Really, just most of them that they showed were 2-packs. There was only one single box figure, which was Kalnaka, and they also gave us one pipeline reveal with Smee, or SM-33, the pirate droid from the Skeleton Crew, right? I mean, that was pipeline revealed. So let's take a look at the figures that we actually got to see. And you know, like I mentioned earlier, there were a ton of 2-packs. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me count them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-packs is what they showed over those six weeks. So let's start out with the first 2-pack with a Clone Commando and a B-1 battle droid. This one is based on Star Wars Battlefront. Another 2-pack with Dagan Gera and the Commando droid from Jedi Survivor. Another 2-pack with Obi-Wan Kenobi in his Clone Wars armor and a 212th Clone Trooper. This one is based on the Clone Wars. Then we have a 2-pack with Princess Leia in her Boushh outfit and Luke Skywalker as a Coruscant guard from the Shadows of the Empire. Then we have a 2-pack of a Phase 1 Clone Trooper in all white armor and a Super Battle Droid. And those were all the 2-packs that they showed over the last 5 weeks. So quite a few 2-packs here. There was really just one figure revealed from the Skeleton Crew, and that was only a pipeline reveal. Nothing else was shown for Skeleton Crew as coming in 2025, which is really sad because the Skeleton Crew is a treasure trove of awesome creature designs. So I hope that they're gonna focus more and more on Skeleton Crew because there were a ton of awesome characters so far in the show already. So looking at all those figures, you know, they showed 12 Black Series figures. Or they didn't show 12 Black Series figures, but they talked about 12 Black Series figures. And we can take one out with Smee, or the SM-33 droid, because that was just a pipeline reveal, which leaves us with 11 figures for Black Series. Most of them are either repaints or repacks, and probably repaints that many people might not even care about. I mean, who knew that this particular Clone Commando or this particular B-1 battle droid would be interesting or on people's wish lists? You know, it's kind of weird because I feel like there are so many figures and so many characters that people in my community talk about constantly. And then we do get these repaints nowadays that nobody's asking for. And it just feels like they're putting them out because, you know, they're cashing in on using or reusing the sculpt again. And for troopers, you know, I mean, we all love troopers, but yeah, I've reached a point where I'm looking for characters that I recognize and characters that I don't have in my collection. That's what gets me excited. Out of all these figures for Black Series, Kalnaka is definitely on the top of my list. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about the Pirate Droid from Skeleton Crew, so those are definitely the two highlights for me personally. I'm also pretty fond of Shadows of the Empire because there was a time period in '96 when I was really getting into Star Wars again. And back then, I mean, the Nintendo 64 game was great, the novel was good, and it filled a void that we had back then. I think that Steve Sansweet always referred to Shadows of the Empire as everything. We got everything from Shadows of the Empire except a movie, right? I mean, we had a soundtrack, we had action figures, we had a video game, we had comic book adaptations, we had the novel, we had merchandise based on it. I mean, we had Galoob figures based on Shadows of the Empire. We had some model kits, I think, also based on Shadows, but yeah, the only thing that was really missing was the movie itself. So anyways, I'm excited that they're doing the 2-pack with Luke and Leia here, but I still have to say that the highlights for all the Black Series reveals from Gift the Galaxy is definitely Kalnaka for me, and the SM-33 or Smee pirate droid from Skeleton Crew. Now let's take a look at TVC, and for TVC it doesn't quite look as good, even though there was some good stuff shown though. Overall, you know, we could say that they showed 9 figures altogether, but some of you might think of it more of a 7 figures, because is Grogu and is the Unsellen that's packed in with IG-12, do you count those as individual figures, or are those more accessories to you? You know, I do count them on galacticfigures.com. I do give those figures their own entries, simply so that you can look them up and compare them with previous releases to see if that is something that you need to add to your collection, so you can easily compare those figures. But I get it when people say that those should not count as actual figures. So since I do count them, kind of, let's say that they showed 9 figures for TVC, with IG-12 on a deluxe card, together with Grogu and the Unsellen. And then they showed a 3-pack from the Heir to the Empire with Captain Paleon, Thrawn, and Joruus C'baoth. And they showed the 3-pack from this morning with Anakin Skywalker, or the journey of Anakin Skywalker from the Clone Wars to Ahsoka to being Darth Vader in the Return of the Jedi. And quite honestly, all of those figures that they showed are pretty good. I mean, I definitely want to have IG-12 in the collection, and he should come with an Unsellen and Grogu, but I would have loved to have a second Unsellen included, like is the case with the Black Series line, for example. And then the Heir to the Empire said, I was never really a fan of the Thrawn trilogy, but I can still appreciate those figures. Joruus C'baoth in 3 3/4 inch is a character that people have been asking for many, many years. So this is really interesting to see that they are finally putting him out. And then Paleon, I mean, he was in The Mandalorian, so he will make a great addition to the Mandalorian display. So, yeah. And then also there was some changes made to Thrawn's shoulder bells, I guess. So I guess there is some new stuff here, which is really cool to see. The one thing which I actually forgot to mention is that the Anakin Skywalker 3-pack does not have a single carded figures. That's just a regular special action figure 3-pack. While the Heir to the Empire set, those figures do come carded, which is great. And then I already talked about the Anakin Skywalker 3-pack earlier in the podcast, so I mean that is a pretty decent set as well. Just not as much as what they showed for Black Series, because Black Series we had 12 figures total with the pipeline reveal, and for TVC you could argue that you had only 7, or kind of 9 with Grogu and the Unsellen. So, but yeah, overall, what I would say is that it is a missed opportunity in some regards to promote the Skeleton Crew on TV, especially when it comes to the 3 3/4 inch line. I mean, not even a pipeline reveal for a character from the show, really? Not even one? I don't know if we're gonna get more announcements by the end of the year. I mean, we still have a couple of weeks left, but it feels like this has been it for this year. I mean, there's not that much time left to make another announcement, right? So in that regards, when it comes to 3 3/4 inch, it is very disappointing that they didn't show anything for the Skeleton Crew at all. So, all right, I'm going to leave it at that. But before I end the podcast, I do want to talk about some of the store reports. You probably already saw it a couple of days ago, but I did go to Ross Stores, and I haven't been in a while. And I was pleasantly surprised just how many toys they had. It was nuts. I mean, it looked like a bomb had hit the place. You had to fight your way through the aisles to look at all the toys. I mean, it was pretty crazy. They had additional tables set up for the toys. There were toys lying on the floor. There was toys just dangling from the top shelf. So it was pretty crazy, really. But I did find 2 Black Series Endor Rebel soldiers, and they were marked down as $7.99. And you guys, I gotta tell you, I mean, I remember buying 2 of those suckers at $34 plus tax each, right? So the difference, paying $15 or paying more than $70 for those 2. I mean, what a difference. Also found Morgan Elspeth from the Black Series line. Also found some figures from the Archive line from last year with Dengar, 3PO, Emperor Palpatine, and Lando Skifgard. Those figures are still hovering around at Ross Stores. And there must have been a new shipment, though, because they weren't there when I was there several weeks ago. So yeah, Black Series still showing up at Ross Stores. Also, I found the Holocom Ahsoka figure, Holocom X Wolves. Those 2 were down to $9.99, which is crazy. And then also for the retro collection, I only found Morgan Elspeth she was $6.99. And then for TVC, I found nothing. I think I found nothing for TVC. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, with a lot of the Micro Squadron stuff. If you collect those vehicles, they had a whole bunch of snow speeders. They also had some gunships for $12.99. The ship that the Inquisitors had in the Kenobi TV show was also there for $12.99. The Bad Batch ship was there for $12.99. So a lot of those Micro Squadron vehicles also showed up at Ross Store. As far as online stores go, Walmart was just killing it with the Black Series Captain Enoch 2-pack down to $13, and it took days to sell out. Days. That's just crazy. All of their exclusives, the Black Series Night Owl, the Black Series Balin Skull in his mercenary outfit with the soft goods included was down to $10. The Mandalorian Shriek-Hawk Trainer 2-pack was down to like $21. Greef Karga's Astromech Droid was down to $10. Those are really incredible prices. And I gotta point out that this is, we all love to get great discounts, but if a Captain Enoch, which undoubtedly is one of the coolest designs that we have seen in Star Wars in recent storytelling, is not selling out instantly at $13, packed in together with the Night Trooper, I think that is worrisome, quite honestly. Yeah, so Walmart had some really great deals over the weekend. It was really unexpected. And I do want to give a shout out to Chris Le Bombard for messaging me about those deals. I just couldn't get to a computer fast enough to actually post that in a timely manner, unfortunately. I did not expect those deals to just pop up like that. So that was interesting to see. Entertainment Earth has a sale. You guys know I'm a big fan of Entertainment Earth. They go back to more than 2 decades at this point. I think I heard about Entertainment Earth first in the 90s, actually. And they always supported collectors' efforts. I remember that they one year sponsored Rancho Obi-Wan, for example. So they kind of got involved with the collecting community through that. And, they do have a mint condition guarantee. So if you're unhappy with how Amazon or some of the other retailers mail their boxes out or their figures out, well, Entertainment Earth does have a mint guarantee. And if you call them up, if there's something wrong with your order, you actually get to talk to people who can look into your order. So they're collector focused, and so that's why I've always been pushing them. But I do have to say that for this year, their sales were extremely lackluster. And they just cannot compete with the big dogs. Talking about sales, GameStop currently has a crazy good deal. You buy 2 figures, you get 1 for free. Unfortunately, when you go through the app, all of them are out of stock. If you go through the website and you just keep hitting refresh, you might get lucky and you might be able to add some of them to your cart, even though they initially show us out of stock. So that's another option to get some figures for a little cheaper. And that's really all I have for store reports and for online deals currently. Now, last but not least, I had some people reach out to me and comment about the voting for the best figures for this year. And I've finished adding all the vintage collection figures to the website now. I'm only waiting for the Ghost to ship, and it might actually take until the first or second week until January before it actually gets here, because it seems like they haven't begun to ship them out yet, at least not in the United States. And so I'm still waiting for those figures to get here, because I feel like those should be included in the voting for 2024. And for Black Series, I am rushing to get all the figures added to the website as well. But there are still some I'm waiting for, specifically the ones from the Skeleton Crew, which I got through Amazon. And so far, I've only gotten 2 of them. I think one of them is supposed to be here tomorrow, then one on Friday, and then I think 1 or 2 more are supposed to come next week sometime. So depending on how fast Amazon gets those figures here, I'll get those added to the website. And once they're up, we can start voting on the best Black Series figures for 2024 as well. So make sure you're subscribed to the Galactic Figures Instagram account or the Facebook page or the Facebook group, because that's where I'll be posting the update on when you can vote. All right, so that's it for this episode of GFT Galactic Figure Talk. I'll be back with at least one or maybe two more episodes before the year is over. So thank you guys for listening. Please hit that 5-star review in your podcast app. It does help the show to be bumped up in the ratings, and it keeps me motivated to keep putting those shows together for you. So thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's a wrap for this episode, but the next one is just around the corner, so make sure to subscribe. Meanwhile, have fun browsing over 4,000 Star Wars figures on GalacticFigures.com, the Star Wars action figure database. The website helps you look up and identify Star Wars figures. Leave your own figure reviews in the comments, or check out photo galleries, figure info, news, press releases, or event coverage from New York Toy Fair and Star Wars celebrations. Thanks for listening. Check the links in the description, and remember to subscribe.